Hi everyone, this is me again. In this occasion, I am going to return with the project of the clothing store, taking in consideration that I decided to make like a little jump with the project that was of Jonas Chronicles. Jesus himself told me that people are going too fast, and he suggested me to just slow down, and that was what I did. But also, sadly, there are people that may be wondering or asking, "What are you doing?" Or maybe they would say like, "But at least continue one of the projects that you had before." And it's true. I'm going to continue with the clothing store. Um, let's just go to the Git batch on here. Sorry that I was looking to the window. It's because sometimes some kids come to my window to call me. Um, let's see. Now I'm going to put this bigger, and I'm gonna put it. Remember that I like to put it in a way that everyone that might have problems with the eyes or something like that could see it. Let's see. Just like this. Now, it is clothing shop site, just like a corner shop on English. That's the way of saying it. I don't know if you knew. Now I'm gonna go code and point on here, and you will see the code working. I'm going to see where I left the project, and also I don't remember if I told you that we are not still secure with what database we're gonna go in this project. But I told you, if I am not wrong, that I was talking with my mother, and she told me a suggestion that I could do it with um, MySQL, because as it is a relational database, it will save resources, time, effort, and many other things. Because when it's not a relational database, sometimes it doesn't give you that advantage. Which advantage? That, for example, if it is a big project, I explained that before, but I'm gonna explain it again. If it is a big project, a non-relational database is usually good, because you are not necessarily always needing that the data is linked. Okay, but if it is not a huge project, um, if the data is linked, it can help. But also, something interesting is that if you have time and the project is huge, but the let's say that your boss or the administrators of the project know that you have the capacity of making it, a relational database is better than non-relational database, because the data is not just placed in there and that's it. The data actually have like you see, for example, this here, they have like a um connection between them that makes even more secure the data. But a non relational database is just data placed in there in as a JSON object, and it's true that you can make a schema, but at the end, It is just a bunch of objects saved, like if they were a database. And and I'm going to tell you the truth. When I first met and used non-relational databases, uh, I said inside of myself, but I could just use Notepad and or something like that and just save the JSON, and that would be the same as the non-relational database. And you don't understand maybe what I'm trying to say, but it's true. The truth is that non-relational database have the huge disadvantage that is kind of too simple to save data, to access to the data, and also to even lose data. Let's say that you lose one object. How are you gonna look for the object back? It's gonna be harder than if it was related to something on a relational database. I have worked with relational databases that you can go back if something happens with the with the data. You can go back and return the data again, or get the data again. But on a non-relational database, it doesn't happen as easy as that. It can happen, yes, because actually sometimes they have a very huge um, complex manager, those kind of database, but uh, it's not as mature as relational database, because a relational database you can do it even with a command. You can say with a command, hey, I would like to recover my data with a command. When I say a command, it's just to write down something on the command line, and it will give you down, let's say, the last version, or importing the data that you had saved, and it will not rewrite anything if you pointed it out. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that it's simpler, it's better, and it's more mature. A relational database is better in certain way, even though many are gonna say that no, blah blah blah. It is just like when something is um, more experienced. What is better, the experience or not having experience? The experience, obviously, right? It is the same here. So let's just see what we were doing on here. I would like to go to see the folder of this, and for me to go to this folder, I would have to maybe open something here. And oh no, it is here. Yes, thanks Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And as you can see, I was making a like a objects generator. This is called. I'm going to tell you the truth. This is called framework. Okay, this is called framework. Even though you didn't know it, this is a framework. Uh, how can I say it? If you were thinking that making a framework was difficult, here you have a framework. And this was just at a glance. I mean, from my mind completely. I have done it, being honest, before, and I have seen people doing it in a certain way. So, you see this one? Let's just remove this and let's create a container aside now. As I see here, I left very clear what I have to do. Container aside content is just this here, and let's just place this. Let's place this just like this. Just like this, okay? You would say, "What? Wow, that was a lot of job, trainer." Not exactly. I'm going to tell you the truth. We have two options. we can use exactly the same structure that we had here for the header content, and just at the end, just making the prompting of the aside container, or we can create another version. But I'm going to be honest with you. As I said before, we're going to save time. So let's just copy this and place it down here on the line 43. And you see this here? Let's change it to, instead of header content, we're going to put aside content. And it has a title, right? The title is this one. I want to put here shopping. If you are reading well, I know that you can see it, but I'm going to put it bigger, just like that. And let's just, you see header information title, this can stay even like that. And let's just remove these two and let's place here just another attribute to the object that is going to be called list of menu, let's say. And this list of menu is going to be just like this. We can just copy this and paste it over here. Sorry, it is a comma here. And you see that it is kind of how can I say, it's too simple, but the truth is that that's that's how it goes. um and I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know if you remember that when you were learning, for example, maths, your teacher used to put on the well, usually the teachers fill the board with a lot of things, and you feel like if those things sometimes are weird, you say like, whoa, now I have to learn all of these things. And even though the teacher is super organized, you always feel that it is just a bunch of numbers and that's it. Well, you have to understand this little thing also in web development, in software development, which is what I'm trying to say. Well, it is that the truth is that you are not designing. So the information you will not expect, or you should not expect, that will look like if it is a rainbow or something like that. The rainbow comes when it works, but the code itself is not a rainbow. Okay, it is like when it is night. You see the sky, and sometimes you see the stars, and other times you don't see them. And you can have the best vision of all the whole world, and I can bet that at least one day you will not see all the stars. And it is the same here. You have to be able to be humble to uh, to continue moving forward, even though it is too abstract in the way that you feel that it's kind of weird or something like that. Just keep moving forward, and that mindset is gonna help you to amplify your vision, your way of seeing the things, and even to create new things. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm taking, for example, a course of maths, and that is what I do. And that's why I can create my own formulas, I can create my own solutions. Even though the teacher is playing it in a certain way, I can see it in another way. And that is how you grow in science. Science should not be seen as something that is beautiful always. No, don't try to look at it in that way, because it is just beautiful when you get the solution, but when you are working on it, it's not always beautiful. And if you are always, it is like when you're gonna wash your clothes. Just let's leave it like that. um, Now let's go to the this is index HTML. This is the aside here, and in the aside I have the container aside. Let's create an ID, and that is going to be called, for example, aside container menu. Just say that. We go now, and we're gonna, instead of create an element, we don't need to create an element. What we have to do is just to change this to put aside container, and this is gonna be document that get element by ID, and you're gonna put here aside container menu, right? And then you see this aside container menu. Now we're gonna just as simple as this. We're just gonna erase this, for example, and we're gonna put the inner HTML, but we're gonna say this, and in this occasion, we're gonna header information title, right? Just like this, and also we're gonna add let's put this down, and let's copy this. This is the header, right? Now what I'm missing? The menu. So list of menu. This is going to be this list of menu, just like that. And now you see this append child header logo container. In this case, it's just this. And instead of the header, it's going to be on the aside container. So I can just erase this completely and say aside container append child, and let's see. If I am not wrong, yes, yes, it should work that way. Um, that's it. And this ending here is the same thing, okay? We don't need it. Let's just erase also this one. And create containers, button color. In this occasion, I don't need the button color. So let's erase this. And instead of this, as named as it is going to be this name. And instead of header content, this is aside content. Let's place here aside content, create containers, and that is everything. Now let's check this. This should work now. If I don't get any error, which is possible, remember that it's possible that I get one error at least. Nothing to worry about. Okay. So let's go to localhost 5050. Oh, it opened alone here. And you can see it here. This is the menu. Yes, it is coming dynamically. Even though how can I say? Even though it is kind of surprising, how can I explain it to you? If I, for example, add on here shirts, and also I say, for example, code, let's refresh, and you have here code. You see, now it's more dynamic than just the HTML because it's kind of cleaner. But also, when we get to use the database, we're gonna just call in here the data and in a cycle in a buckle, which is a for loop, for example, and this is gonna increase with the database information alone. We will not have to put not even a finger in there. We have an administration area, but this is the little framework to the aside, and this is the little framework to the header. And we will do the same now, for example, to the to the content that is here. Um, let's just copy this and say that just the same that I did before. Do you remember? It's like this. But I don't know if it was like this or something like that. Mm, oh, it is like this. Okay. Let's copy this. Oh, sorry. That is from a screen rec, but I haven't finished. That is from the other from the oldest video that I did with this application. But we are almost finishing. By the way, I don't know why in here it gives me the color and in here it doesn't. Well, anyway, now we're gonna create a container body content, and that is going to be just, oh look, now it is giving me the color. This is going to be just this. We can copy it, but before I copy it, I'm gonna comment it, okay? Mm, let's comment it and paste it on here. This is the information that now is gonna be dynamic as well with a little framework. I'm going to tell you the truth. We're gonna fix two things. Let's make that this list here comes from a JSON, okay? In that way, when we call the database, we will just have to change the source of the JSON, and will happen the same here. These two data here, the image and the title of the image will come from a JSON. So let's put on here. Sorry, let's put on here. Next task to make the menu and the content information to be no to come from a JSON. And that's it. Let's copy that and put it also over here. And that's it. See you in the next video. Remember that Jesus Christ loved you much more than what I could ever say to you. Bye bye.